And we are
not yet. Not yet.
So we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and now we're live on
Yep City.
This is the Wrestling Guy Podcast. I am your co-host, Hector El Chido Canales, with
Lord Alfred Shakes.
And our host with the most,
of course, David the Wrestling Guy.
And today's a very special day. Not only did we have one of the founding fathers of the NWO, Big Sexy Kevin Nash.
That's right.
But also, today is the 6th anniversary of the Wrestling Guy Store.
Yes, finally, right? Thank you. It's crazy. We've done this for 6 years.
Yeah.
Damn, it's amazing. You know,
well, you've been doing it for 6+ years.
6+ years. It's already been 15 years total. We've been doing this.
15 hard years.
15 hard years, yes.
That's a kid. That's a teenager.
Yeah, that is.
Damn, this baby's 15 years old.
That is sweet.
It's growing
I
up.
should have thrown it a quinceañera. Tiempo.
Yeah.
You know where I went to go celebrate?
Where'd you go celebrate?
Home Depot.
Yes.
Did you happen to buy any wood?
No, but somebody wanted me to buy some wood.
Now, this is a story that before we went on live, we were discussing, and I was hoping that Shakes would bring it up because I thought that David wouldn't bring it up. David, what were you doing at Home Depot?
I was at Home Depot because I have some dirty neighbors at home that don't clean their yard, and so we are getting a lot of mice in the house. So I went to go buy some look for either a mouse trap or glue or poison. I was trying to find the most humane way though to get rid of this
Did you
mouse.
know if you go to Home Depot, a lot of people are looking for hardware.
Yeah, I found out the hard way. Well, not
Really hard
that
way.
hard way, but you know what I mean. But yeah, so I went to Home Depot and got solicited.
Special on wood.
I got solicited. I guess they thought I was a worker of the night. They offered to pay me to do certain things, and I was like, yeah, not gonna happen. I'm married and I have kids, and they're like, oh, I don't mind if you're married.
Is that why you messaged me last night around 2 a.m.?
I need to
see if I can. I'm not your Uber.
I needed an Uber. Somebody's saying there's no audio on the Facebook.
There's no audio.
There's no audio for some reason on the Facebook. I think if you click the little microphone thing, though, it should be audio. So we'll find out right now. If there's not, we'll fix it for you guys.
Let's see.
So, but yeah, so that's how my week started for the Home Depot. We can unplug the microphone. Maybe the microphone.
So you can easily say that your week started at a very high point.
A very, very high point. A very, very high point. That's why we had no audio. The microphone wasn't on.
There you go. Well,
How about now? Ask them if it's...
Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now on Facebook? For those listening,
can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? You know what? Let me fix it. I know how we'll fix it. Yeah, you're good. We should have some audio now. There we go. Sorry, I forgot to turn on my.
You got to
weird
really be
shake
careful
microphone
when you're going around pointing objects.
Just not gonna let that. So for those that missed it because there was no audio, I went to Home Depot. I got solicited, but they thought I was a worker of the night. I said no. Told them I was married, and they said they didn't care if I was married. They offered to pay me. Now my friend told me I should have asked them how much they were willing to pay me, so at least I could find out my value.
Yes.
Well, see, that's why you don't go to Home Depot dressed like a slut.
I was not dressed like. I was wearing a regular T-shirt. I mean, a nice Indian's jacket
And that's all?
with a nice, with some nice jeans.
And a thong underneath, right? They seen the thong. You pulled off the leader look, right?
I was trying, and a nice T-shirt underneath.
Okay.
I had my hair combed just like I do today.
So you go all nice dressed up to go to Home Depot
I had
all
to
the
come
time?
to work after. I thought he was gonna try to sell me insurance. And I think
that's
trying to
gonna be
sell me
after-
something else. No insurance.
After he
Let me
was
tell
selling
you.
insurance.
Thank you, compa. We have audio now.
All right.
So we're good.
All right.
But yeah, so that's how my week started. But before we start talking about the 6th anniversary of the store, today we turned 6 years old. 15 if you were with us from the swap meet. 15 years. So yeah, we have pretty much a toddler. No, a young kid. Mm-hmm. That would be what, second grade? We have a second grader and a high schooler. First grade and a high schooler.
And a high schooler.
And a high schooler. Mm-hmm. Jesus. But and no quinceañera. Nobody invited it. We should have thrown one. And I want to thank Brian Metz, of course. Metz. I already bought. Sorry, Brian. And he bought us a nice birthday cake.
Which was delicious. Thank you.
Yes, I broke my diet for it. And you know what? It was well worth it. It was well worth it.
It was.
So we had a nice cake thanks to Brian. For those that don't know Brian, he's one of the main guys at Lucha Underground. He's always taken very good care of me and the store. And so I want to thank Brian. You know Brian.
Yeah. Yes.
And he takes care of Hector too. Home Depot wanted to take care of me. And Alfred.
So is this podcast sponsored by Home Depot now, or what?
Sponsored by wood.
Where you can get wood?
Big piece of wood, according to the guy. And you know what the worst part? He was in the gardening section. I think he was looking for the wrong hose.
Oh,
could be.
Wait, so he's inside Home Depot?
Yeah, this was all inside Home Depot.
I thought this was like outside.
No, this was inside Home Depot. I was shopping for rat or mice stuff.
But you were in the gardening section, right? So
the girl, very cute girl that works there, goes, "Oh, it's outside in the garden."
Obviously, that didn't work for you.
He's trying to establish something. It was a very cute girl.
Yes. I honestly thought the guy was trying to sell me insurance or ask me to sell insurance for him. So
he was looking for someplace to plant his seed.
He really was. But anyway, so out of 6 years we've been here, we've had a lot of celebrities, or wrestlers and celebrities. But no one, I think, has been bigger than the legend we had today.
Yeah.
Kevin Nash.
Yeah. Kevin Nash. So thank you, Kevin Nash, for joining us today. It was a great turnout. It was busy the whole 2 hours.
It was very busy.
Yeah.
He stayed an extra half hour. Great guy. Told a lot of great stories. I like how he pointed out that Hulk Hogan would sign the championship belt.
And then an hour later, some guy shows up with the championship belt. And Hulk Hogan has signed the whole thing, basically. Well, it's not like he signed like, oh, I'm going to sign here and here. No, it's just to sign his name. Yeah. It took him like 6 inches just to sign an H.
Yeah.
Another 6 to sign an U.
Yep.
You got to be careful with the measurements with David.
And then he put NWO. And he actually, what was cool about the championship, the gentleman that brought it in, said that he actually took black spray paint and had Hogan spray paint it for him. Oh. So it was really cool. So then he had Hogan sign it, but the whole strap, the front of the strap was Hulk Hogan's signature.
Oh, wow.
And then he had Nash signed it. And Nash is just like, oh, he signs it nice. But it was funny because he kept saying like, oh, when Hogan signs, he uses up the whole. And sure enough, the whole strap was Hulk Hogan, NWO, Hollywood Hogan, NWO. So... But Kevin Nash was awesome.
Yeah, he was.
It was a great meet and greet for us. And I never a million years, not 6 years ago, especially that I think I'd look up and see the ceiling and see Kevin Nash on the ceiling of fame.
And here's the one thing, like coming in and helping you out, I was thinking, oh, he's going to be a little rude because we've heard stories about certain guys that they're rude and whatnot. It was such a pleasure and such a surprise because you hear all these stories. Don't believe all the stories you hear. Man, Kevin Nash was a pleasure. He was a gentleman. Yes. He was funny. He was very charismatic. And he was thankful for being here.
Yeah. And he actually tweeted us a little while ago saying happy 6-year anniversary. So, I mean, not just for him to wish us a happy 6-year anniversary. It's amazing because a lot of guys, not a lot of them, but they usually go home once they're done here and we don't hear from them again, or they put up a picture and just say, thank you, Wrestling Guy HP, and then we won't hear anything else. But this one was a nice, like a sincere tweet, like, thank you, Wrestling Guy HP, for having me. It was fun, and happy 6-year anniversary. And just to get that from Kevin Nash was just awesome.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, it's just probably one of the most awesome things I've had. But let's talk about since we've been here 6 years, 15 if you're at the swap meet. Everybody always asks me how we started at the swap meet, so I'll go through this. We started off, I had a cell phone store a lot of years ago. many, many years ago. And this was there was only AT&T, Verizon, Singular Wireless, which later on became AT&T, and you had T-Mobile really was just coming up, and Nextel. And if everybody remembers the Nextel,
yeah, I hate that so much.
yeah, and so we started that, and then it wasn't as easy to get approved for cell phones as it is now. So we were like, we need to sell something else. So we said, you know what? Let me order some wrestling shirts. So I ordered like a Stone Cold shirt. Cena had the Thugonomics gimmick, so I think we had like a Thugonomics shirt, and a couple of Rey Mysterio was just coming up, so we had a couple of those shirts. And I said, this lady that used to go to the Santa Fe Spring Swap Meet, I go, hey, can you go sell some of these shirts for me at the swap meet with you? Because she used to sell cell phone stuff for me too. She's like, sure. So she comes back the next week and she's like, oh, I sold out of all your shirts. So I was like, oh, that's cool, whatever. Mm-hmm. So then we kept selling the cell phones for a year, and I kept ordering the shirts. And then after about a year, we had like a dozen shirts left over. So I was like, let me go try this Santa Fe Spring swap meet. So I said, screw it, let me go out there. Went out there with my little Randy Orton shirts, and I only had kids shirts. I didn't like having adult shirts because I just always figured, what adult wants a half-naked man on? Sure, shut up before you even answer that.
Home Depot.
So we went, and sure enough, all 12 shirts sold out like in 2 hours. So I sat there for like 3 more hours doing nothing, just listening to music in the car. And then, so I ordered more shirts, and then we started there, and then we added toys and stuff. So then when the opportunity came here to open the store here 6 years ago, this lady that her daughter used to go to school with, my oldest son, goes, hey, are you still looking for a retail store to open your store? And I'm like, yeah, sure. She's like, there's a space right here in HP. The rent's pretty good. You should go check it out. So I did. And it's funny because a lot of people don't believe in, a higher power. And I was like, man, I go, I'm going to leave the swap meet. I've been there, 9 years. I already have my customer base. I go, I only have to work 3 days a week over there compared to 7 over here. I go, I said, well, God, if it's meant for me to open up the store, I go, the rent will be really low. So I go to meet the guy, and I tell him, he's like, oh yeah, it's this much. I was like, and it was low. Mm-hmm. And I was like, way below what everybody expect. I guess what goes around here, So I was like, all right, man, he did. So I said, no, I'm not convinced. So I'm like, okay, God, if it's meant for me to get this store, the landlord's not going to charge me a deposit. He's just going to charge me the rent. So the next day, I call him, and I'm like, hey, real quick, just out of curiosity, before I go meet you and hand over the contract, will you? I go, how much do I have to give you? He's like, oh, just the first rent, just the first month's rent, nothing else. No deposit, no last month, just the rent. And I was like, okay. So I get my contract, sign it, then I'm going to go meet him, and I'm like, nah, I don't know if I want to turn it in. So I go, all right, God, if it's meant for me to sign this contract, I go and hand it in and get this store, I go, he's not going to keep me to a lease. Mm-hmm. He's just going to let me go in and I can leave whatever I want. So I go, so how long is my lease for? He's like, oh, you're on a month-to-month, whenever you want to leave. So I'm like, all right. So I go back to the car. My wife is sitting in the car, and I go, man, I keep asking God for all these signs, but I'm kind of scared. She's like, well, what have you asked him? I go, well, I asked him about the rent. I asked him this, I asked him that. And I go, oh, God, if it's meant, da. She's like, well, damn, you want God to come down here and hand in the paper for you? She goes, apparently it's meant to be. So sure enough, I handed it in, and yeah, here we are, 6 years later, and these walls were white. And I don't know, did you come in when the walls were white?
Yes, I did.
Yeah?
Yeah. This was what, I think I started coming in maybe 4 years ago.
4 years ago, so the walls were, still white.
Yeah.
You were here when the walls were white, because you met Chavo here.
Yes.
Yes, you were one of the first customers here.
I was one of a few customers here, yes.
You came shaking.
Yeah.
You would have been shaking
Part of a dream.
People. Ricky Gonzalez on Facebook, who was actually I think he helped me a few times out there, and his brother. Uh-huh. Remembers my little Nissan Sentra? We used to stack that stuff with like Jack's Pacific boxes. Like my wife would play Tetris in the car because I only had a Nissan Sentra like I do now, but we would carry like 30 boxes of stuff, and so she was trying to fill the whole trunk and the back of the seat, and I could never do it on my own. So she would always go and she'd play Tetris, and sure enough, leave it so I could see behind me, and she would have the whole trunk full, and we would do. That's how we started. We would drive out there Friday nights, just unloading the boxes and opening the boxes and doing that. So that was pretty cool. You met Chavo here first. Who was the first one you met here? Was it Chavo?
No, I met Chavo wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Doing indie shows and stuff.
And thank you to Thunder Rosa. She wished us a 6
Oh,
years.
sweet. Hi, Thunder.
She was actually, real quick before I get to you, how I met her was I tweeted her because there was a lot of hype about her because she was in Japan. And there was a lot of hype about her. And I'm like, I got to check out who this Thunder Rosa is. And so I looked on YouTube, saw her, and I think I tweeted her something like, hey, about being on the podcast or something. And she answered. But what really impressed me with her was she came over here, and this was like one of her first places she stopped when she came back from Japan to the United States because she was going to do, I think, a show at AWS. And she stopped here first, and I was like, holy that's like really awesome. I go, here's this girl that really doesn't know us, a wrestler, that doesn't really know who we are or anything. And she came and she stopped here to check out the store. So, and then we became friends. So there you go. And that's how me and you became friends. And that's how me and you became friends.
Yeah.
And it's behind the scenes people that are right here became friends.
Let's hear it for the behind the scenes
behind
people.
the scenes
Right.
people.
Behind the scenes.
I thought I became friends with a lot of people here.
Yeah.
But you know what? I told my son, actually, I didn't have a lot of friends in high school, and I didn't have a lot of friends after high school. I was a loner. Sadly. And I go, who would have thought the store would have brought me friends? I go, except for some of this one customer we had today. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, go ahead, Hector. What was your first?
Honestly, I think that's how we actually met. You probably messaged me. Somebody messaged me, hey, would you like to do an interview? Something like that.
Yeah, it was me.
And I heard that, the Wrestling Guy Store. Wrestling Guy Store? The whole store is about wrestling? And I remember just coming in and I'd say hi to you, but my face was facing you, but my eyes were looking at all the toys. Like, yeah, what's up? Yeah, and I just trail off and do like 50 laps around the store, just looking at every figure like 2-3 times over.
And it's funny because I think Justice, my oldest, for those that are listening or watching, I think we took a picture together, and then he's like, I think he came out on RuPaul's Drag Race,
yeah.
And I'm like, nah. So I think he went like all over YouTube looking, and then I think coincidentally enough there was a marathon, I think, of the RuPaul's on Logo, and he found the episode and he sent me a picture, and then I think I sent it to you, and then I think I went home and I watched the episode, and that was you, Joey Ryan, and somebody else. But yeah, you played a big part on that episode.
Yeah, you sent me a text saying, "Is this you?" before the picture uploaded, and I was like, "Uh-oh, what's loading? Oh no!"
It wasn't Home Depot, I'll tell you that much. Oh man, Brian Cervantes wants to know when we're gonna open a San Antonio branch so he can run that bad boy. You know what? I really would like to open one up in another state soon. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe I say another year. I'd like to open up another one. I think Texas would be nice too.
That would be nice.
San Antonio has a good wrestling fan base.
They do.
I don't know. I was thinking Arizona, but then I went there for the Royal Rumble, as we spoke about last week, and I don't think there's much of a wrestling base out there. No
Well,
offense,
you
Arizona.
could open one up in Canada. I know Canada.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Canada.
And you could probably go run it over there. We'll send you some cookies every now and then again, and we'll send you a sweater. That way you're not going around Home Depot if they have Home Depots over there, flaunting your stuff.
Maybe that's where he came. It's got to be the hair. I think it's the hair that got this guy, because my hair just I brush it every morning, and I think it just like somehow curls. Like, I don't know. Like, I get the Superman curl. I don't do it on purpose.
It's funny because Yeah, I'm picturing you saying, "Oh no, it's got to be the hair," but I'm picturing you in like booty shorts. No, it's got to be the hair.
He's going like
That's what's
this,
bringing
and
off
the
You know,
hair
yeah.
just.
Let me, you know what? Let me say one of my favorite memories of the wrestling guy store being in business. Okay, we went to DryCon last year.
Okay.
RuPaul's DryCon. Yes, we go to RuPaul's DryCon, and we had Victoria, Katarina Lee Waters, and we had PJ Black, and we also had, as I said earlier, a star of the RuPaul's Drag Race, Hector. If you haven't seen it, what season is it? Season 5, right?
I think season 4,
Season
episode
4?
1.
Yeah,
First episode.
Well, so if you get a chance, go on YouTube, check it out.
Joey Ryan's on
Joey
it.
Ryan's on it.
Ryan Taylor's on it.
If you don't get a chance, wait until they show a RuPaul's Drag Race Marathon on Logo or VH1, and you'll see there's an episode with Hector. So I asked Hector, because he lives pretty close by, right, to the convention center. So I go, Hector, you want to come do? By the way, I'm getting a booth there again this year. Remember?
Okay.
And I go, Hector, would you like to be a part of coming down to the DryCon? And he's like, yeah, let me go down there. Great, it was fun. So we put so Hector's standing in the corner of the booth, and sure enough, every couple that walks by, as soon as they walk by, they were broken up by the time they got past the booth, because Hector kept breaking up every couple. He didn't say anything. They just
No,
They just
I don't
kept
know what
breaking
it
up.
was. Maybe it was the place I was standing at the time that all of a sudden, like, I noticed probably at the third couple that broke up, hey, I think it's me or something, man. Because at first I was like, I wasn't eavesdropping. I was just standing there and they're like, come on, baby, please come back. No, no. And the guy's like walking off. No, please, I love you. And then I'm like, oh, did you see that? And everyone's like, minding their own business. Well, what happened? They broke up. Oh, what's going on? And you saw them like fighting as they walked away. And then it happened again.
Wait, were you wearing your tights?
no,
No.
Okay.
I think you
was gonna
changed
say,
your shirt.
It's probably the little heart tights that you wear.
Weren't you changing your shirt?
No, I didn't change.
You
my
did
shirt.
something, I think. Oh, I think you went in.
I think you're imagining
No.
stuff.
I'm still at Home Depot. I think I could have sworn you went in with like a long sleeve, either a sweater or a jacket, I think, and then you took it off. I'm almost positive because I think you went in with a long sleeve, and I think you changed into a shirt, like a regular T-shirt.
I don't remember.
I'm almost
man.
positive.
I think you're imagining.
I could
Seriously,
be.
I think you're imagining
Well,
stuff.
I-
You're probably gonna offer me money for something.
I don't care if you're married. and then to top it off, so our neighbors at the DryCon didn't show up, and so we said, "Hey, why don't we do a knock on Virgil's autograph signings?" So we set up the table next to us at DryCon. We sit Hector there. He poses on like kind of bored, and then he edits on the picture. Hector Canales, RuPaul Drag Race Superstar. But nobody was in line. But it was the best. It seemed like a butcher line. Where is the butcher
Let's
anyway?
see,
He should be celebrating with this.
But you're.
There you go. See, there it is. The best picture in the. That was a blast, man. That was the best part of Drag Con. If anybody's going this year to RuPaul Drag Con, the Wrestling Guy store will be there this year. It's Memorial Day weekend. We'll be there celebrating. I'm trying to get Hector to wear his wrestling
The
gear.
same stuff I wore for the show.
You should wear your gear.
You
But
know-
then we'll have more divorce. But you might make some dollars in tips. If you make tips, we split it.
Why am I gonna split it with you?
I'm gonna promote
So
you.
now you're my pimp.
Yeah, pretty much.
You should wear matching tights,
They're gonna pay me to put the clothes back on.
but you'll make some money.
Oh man. Oh, Ivan said he'll run the store in Mexico City for me, and then Jose said, maybe one in Tijuana. I don't know about. Hey, you know what? I might make some bank in Tijuana, in Mexico.
yeah.
Shoot, I don't know. By the way, Brian gave me this nice gift for my 6th year. He's Donald Duck. I love Donald Duck. All right. Anyways, Alfred, let's go to you, Mr. Shakes. What's your favorite memory here?
Favorite memory?
Yeah.
I got a lot of favorite memories, but I remember coming in here because my son at the time, well, he still does like Rey Mysterio very much. Probably is one of his favorite wrestlers of all time. And I remember coming in here off of Fluke because when I would come home, I'd see the sign, but traffic going by so fast that you don't have time to turn in.
Yeah.
And so I said, we'll visit him on the weekend, one of these weekends. And we came in. Sure enough, I don't know how much. I must have spent $50 the first day I got
I
here.
think so.
Because my son just like Ray, and I'm like, just give me everything that's Ray. So every time you'd have something new of Ray, and he'd see it online, or Dad, Ray, and so that's what we did. I mean, whether it was a mask or a figure or these little miniature figures, whatever it was, title belts. If Ray was holding the title at the time, I knew I want that title.
Yeah.
So I mean, my son got it all, and then that's when you and I did it.
By the way, I didn't botch Brian's name. If those are wondering about when I said Brian Metz, I botched it because I never say his last name. I always say Lucha Underground Brian.
Oh.
All right. So how about your favorite? You have a favorite memory here?
I do. And what it is, I mean, okay, I don't know how this is going to
trying
sound.
to pimp you out?
No, honestly, I don't know how it's going to sound, but you had X-Pac.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Almost like a year ago.
Right.
To the date. It was the first time you had X-Pac.
Right.
And my daughter came with me, and she helped me. And it was just being able to hang out with my daughter, being able to hang out in the atmosphere, and seeing her have fun. Because honestly, like not drag, but get her to come to the store, right?
Right.
And she's a casual wrestling viewer.
Right.
Like right now she's getting into WOW, Women of Wrestling, which I heard Thunder's on it, right?
Yeah. Cobra Moon.
Yeah. So, but we haven't seen that episode yet.
No, I think it's coming up soon though.
Yeah. But so she's just a casual wrestling fan. But to see her just brighten up and be really into it, and then having everybody here, the whole atmosphere, the signing, the fans, and then seeing her actually, quote unquote, mark out for Sean Waltman.
Yeah.
That whole, just everything was so much fun because, sometimes I'd come to the store just to hang out.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even to buy anything. It was just, I was kind of like, let's see what they got, But it was like, oh, I can't buy two Stings. I already have that one at home, So, it'd just be to hang out. And I tell my daughter, let's drive by the wrestling guy store. And we'll go get some In-N-Out because there's an In-N-Out close by. And we'll get some In-N-Out afterwards because where we live, there's like In-N-Out 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
So she kind of knew, Daddy, we're going to be there like for 2-3 hours. Because you say we're only going to be there for 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
Just to kind of like say hi. But we end up being there for 2 hours. And, at first she enjoyed it. But then after a while, it's like she's just kind of standing around and like, doing her thing,
I'm so bored.
Yeah. Because it's like for her, she doesn't feel the same enthusiasm as I would. Like, look at this one. I know you have that at home. It's hanging on the wall. Yeah, I know. But look at it. It looks different here with
lighting's
these figures.
different.
Yeah. There's something different. And so just that day with her, thank you so much for allowing us to help you out that day.
I was waiting for her today.
Yeah, me too. But she could make a little money with her mom. Because since my wife is the boss at her job, and like she comes in as a helping out, and she's tall enough to look a little older now.
Yeah.
So
I know. No, thank you. She's always fun when she's here. So the kids are always fun.
yeah.
I met Matthew, which is your son.
Yeah. My son is a permanent mark here now for the wrestling guy store. I think he feels very comfortable being here every day if he could.
And then I won't mention her name because, well, she's a girl, so I don't mention the girls' names.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, boys can take care. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, but I gotta say, like right now that we're talking about this, and this is something you guys don't know. or anybody knows, because I haven't spoken about it. But it's something that's relevant, that's at any time. So I had surgery, and they told me, because I lost a lot of blood at the time, you can't do anything. Just sit around, watch TV. Like, do you read? Like, yes. Okay, read, catch up on reading. Like, okay. So I was able to read 3 books.
Right.
And, I try to take advantage of the time, but for me being such an active person, hitting the gym so much, working and then wrestling, and it's like all of a sudden they put the brakes on you, right?
Yeah.
What do I do? Let's go to the wrestling guy's store, And to be honest, I was going through a big battle of depression. And coming here, just kind of like just not thinking about it, Like not thinking about, the doctor says you can't wrestle no more. I'm gaining. I've always been pretty fit, at least when I've been wrestling, And all of a sudden, I'm 20, 25 pounds overweight, and the muscles just dwindling away, and this arm's not straightening out, and it looks like a stick. And all that stuff. Well, you saw me, and then I shaved my head, and and I would show my head to you all the time. Like, look at, because I'm losing my hair, so I would have this like mark here, and
that was my favorite. That's probably one of my favorite moments.
Hey, take your hat off. Like, no. Like, why? Look.
And he'd come in with his little hat, his little gangster hat, little cholo hat right there. It looked like he was part of the movie Blood In, Blood Out.
So just the little time it actually helped me just forget about stuff. Just kind of be one of the guys.
Right.
So it did help me out a lot.
When that's why I have this now, because of all the chicken nuggets.
Oh yeah. At first it was just like, hey, I'm probably gonna be there for like 2-3 hours. Right? Why not get something to eat? Right? Hey, I'll text David. Hey, you want something? And then this is what happened. It's like I'd say, okay, today I'll go.
Right.
Like I haven't been there in a while. I'll go today. Well, it almost became every day. And every day was like, well, I'm going to be there 2, 3, 4 hours.
Right.
We need something to eat. Hey, David, you want some McNuggets?
I think we ate, I kid you not, I think we ate over 100 nuggets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Another crap load of barbecue sauce. And it wasn't even JR's barbecue sauce. It was McDonald's barbecue sauce. Every
It's funny because one time I'm like, okay, today I gotta leave early because I gotta pick up Emily, my daughter from school. She's on the YouTube channel. With me.
That's true.
So I gotta pick her up early from school, so I can only be there like half an hour. So I wouldn't stop by McDonald's, and I'd see your face all sad.
No McDonald's today?
Like, where's the chicken?
And then I remember, hey, today I'm gonna get something, a nice treat for David. I'm gonna surprise him. I'm gonna ask him, hey, you want some nuggets? All right, yeah, you want some? And I'm also gonna get him a little surprise. So I show up with the nuggets and a shake, and I didn't know that you're lactose intolerant.
I tell him, I go, what, you want me in the restroom all day? I go, it's like, what? Like, I can't eat ice cream. I'm sorry, I couldn't eat ice cream. I know, it's happened. You know how that goes.
Yes, I do.
Right?
What you should have done is just like smiled and said thank you and start eating it in front of me. And then through time, I would see like the changes of you like positioning yourself. Like, oh,
Excuse me, I gotta go.
I gotta go pee real quick. And also you hear in the restroom. Yeah, no, I try to avoid that. Thank you, Richard. Richard wished me a happy anniversary. Oh man. All right. Favorite signing we've had. That's a
There's
tough
been
one.
some-
I know.
There's been so many.
I know. Dark Grapple's favorite
Was Rey Mysterio? Oh my God, the kid would not go to sleep after that.
Now imagine Hector, who's a big, he's a wrestler, but he's also a big wrestling fan. Now imagine when he first met Rey Mysterio, he must have not slept either.
Well, here's the thing that it's just what was it? Almost 15 years ago, or yeah, somewhere around there. 14 years ago, 13 years ago. For WrestleMania 21, they started doing like all this promotional stuff because WrestleMania 21 was at the Staples Center. So they started doing all this promotional stuff around LA or LA County. So like in Torrance, they had Eddie Guerrero on Friday. On Saturday morning, before the Hall of Fame in downtown LA, they had Chris Jericho at a Toys R Us in Culver City. But on Thursday, they had Rey Mysterio at a Toys R Us somewhere in, I think it was Pico Rivera. So that was going to start myself and my friends' weekend of just wrestling stuff.
Right.
Kind of like what you did for Royal Rumble. You
Right.
did all the X's and all that stuff. So for us, we were going to do Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Jericho, the Hall of Fame, and then WrestleMania. And I splurged on that. We got box seats.
I remember that story.
And so that was for so that was for my birthday. Unlike for WrestleMania 7 when they gave me a teddy bear, right?
Hey, but at least they drove you by the sports arena.
Yeah, and I saw the lights.
There you
Right.
go.
So we show up for the Rey Mysterio signing, and I've got my Rey Mysterio figure, and I'm hyped up. Oh, I think it was the maskless WCW
Okay.
Rey Mysterio. And so I'm like, yeah, I feel so cool because I got the maskless Rey Mysterio. And the huge line. I'm like, oh man, we're going to be here all night, right? So we get in line. Kid you not, the line got twice as long after we were there. And so then we saw a Toys R Us employee go, and like maybe 50 people out in front of us said, okay, this is where the line ends. We're only people from the front of the store to this line to where I'm at are gonna get a signature. The rest, I'm sorry, you have to go home. You can go home. You could go inside the store and shop, but you're not getting anything signed. So me and my friends were like, we've already been standing out here for 2 hours. Let's just stop by a Jack in the Box or something. But maybe, and then we saw people getting angry, and we knew it's time to go. We later heard that there is a riot.
That was almost a riot here.
Yeah. So when Rey Mysterio was here and he was doing the signing, I brought it up to him. Oh yeah, I was at the signing, but I didn't get my my signature at the Pico Rivera. And he just blurted out, "Oh yeah, there was a riot."
He's like, I remember that one really well. And Matthew, Dark Grapple couldn't sleep, huh?
No, I swear that kid. Well, once the news broke that Rey Mysterio was going to be here, he had been waiting for that for a very long time.
I know. The first time he came, when you brought him here, he would ask me about Rey Mysterio,
Yeah.
and I told him, I go, one day Rey Mysterio will be here. I'm gonna make it my mission to have him here. So at least I came through.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah,
And here's the thing that you came through not just for Dark Grapple, but you came through for so many fans.
Yeah.
Because Rey Mysterio, he is, okay, let's just say it, he's a legend now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a legend. How many people were actually are going to get a chance to not just get a signature, something signed by Rey Mysterio, but actually get to meet him? And the Wrestling Guy store, yourself, you gave the opportunity for countless kids, and not just kids, teenagers, and people like myself who are an adult, but I am a big fan, not just of Rey Mysterio, but a wrestling fan. And
Right.
you gave me that shot that 13 years ago I didn't have.
Thank you. I thank Lucha Underground. They made that happen. And so thank you to Lucha Underground. And I'm sure that was Matthew's favorite favorite.
Yeah, because you got to talk to him too, and I think he was just thinking, "Oh, Ray's gonna take a photo with me, and that's it." But he really took the time to ask, him questions, and the way he posed, because at that moment they were kind of almost the same size,
Yeah.
so it made him even more happier that like, wow, he's a small guy for the sport, and that kind of gave him the idea. Well, maybe one day I want to do it, and so that kept that fire lit in his heart for a very long time. And that night he was just so excited. He kept on social media, kept telling anybody he can get a hold of, and hey, he called his mom and said, hey, I met Rey Mysterio. Look, I'm sending you the picture. Look, and he was talking to me, and I'm like, okay, kid, you got to go to school tomorrow. Come on. And no, he didn't want to go to sleep.
Yeah. No, that's. I think mine. Oh man, there's been so many. Well, Tito Santana was one of my favorites.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I love Rey Mysterio being here. I love everybody that's been here has been great. But Tito Santana is one of my favorites because, and I'm hoping he's watching. I don't know if he is, but without Butcher, I know a lot of people get a lot of crap, but he actually had a lot of input as to the store. So as far as like, I ran a lot of ideas by him, about painting the store black and then maybe red on one side, blue on one side. Him and his son Anthony are the ones that came up with the idea for the boards. If you've never been here, you need to come in here and see the boards. That he's done great artwork. He made the sign into what it is. He made the Raw logo. He made the WWE logo. He made a lot of it. So thanks to Butcher and Anthony for all their input here. But we used to sometimes on a Sunday, because Sunday's usually a quiet day here, and we would sit and play. Excuse me, the first ever WWF game, which was a board game.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and we would play it. And it's like the weirdest rules, pins, countouts. I mean, it's just weird rules, but I learned the game. And I think Butcher would pick like Hogan and Andre, and Anthony would pick two guys. And I always picked Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Tito Santana. And every time I would beat him, or a pin, because I think you had a pin, you had to get like 3 pins and you win the game or something like that. Every time I would go, arriba, arriba. And so when I would win the actual game, I would just go, arriba. And Butcher would have this face like, shut the f-. So I said, you know what, Butcher, one day I'm going to bring Tito Santana here. So I made it a mission. I Googled it. I looked every way possible. How do I book Tito Santana? So I found out. I reached out to various people. Finally, I got a booking email from Tito. I wrote him a nice email. He said, "Yeah, this is my guarantee." Da 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 da. And so we made it happen. And then we did. So then he comes in, and that's when we did the video. Because Butcher confronted him on the video, telling him, about that he's so sick and tired of the arriba and arriba and arriba. And then finally, that's when you turned on him. And and we had Tito Santana here. So one of my favorite memories, of course, of the Wrestling Guy store.
And a childhood favorite
And
as
a
well.
childhood favorite.
Yeah.
So for Butcher and Tito, arriba! That was one of my signs. Which one's been your favorite sign? I'm going to leave the table.
Okay.
So it's on you.
All right.
All right.
Go ahead.
You get the chair.
Can I have the con?
You get the con.
All right. I don't feel like Captain Kirk here.
The last time I had that chair, you guys booed me off.
Look at that.
We still love you.
Wow.
If it's warm, it's because I was sitting there.
It feels nice too. So, my favorite signing. I don't.
There was
There-
just so
there's
many.
so
It was-
many
wasn't
real
really
good ones.
Yeah, there was a lot of, Chavo and Chavo Classic. were here
Chavo
fight-
and his dad were here.
Yeah, they've been here multiple times. Johnny Morrison or Johnny Nitro.
Johnny
or
Mundo.
Johnny Mundo. Whatever his name is at that moment, whatever angle he's working. He's been here multiple times. Drew McIntyre's been here.
Yeah.
Chris Masters.
China was here.
China was here
and
twice.
when David comes back, I want to ask him about that. Yeah, she was here twice, but I believe the second time, was it the second time she was here? she came with E television crew
Yes.
filming,
Yeah.
and that was big thing because it was during the week, and yet you still had a large crowd
Right.
coming in, and that was real special. Especially seeing China, she looked great.
Yeah, she's real bubbly. China was one of the women that I think that it didn't matter what she was going through. When she made an appearance, she put that smile on that face and just showed, how much fun she was having being here at the Wrestling Guy store.
Yeah.
And so, it's a terrible shame that what happened to her happened to her. We miss you a lot, and we wish you were here with us to celebrate the 6-year anniversary of the store. But a lot of people come and gone through here, and it seems like it's something big for a wrestler to come through this store now. It is.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a mark of where you stand in the business.
Yeah.
To be here. So, thank you for all you wrestling superstars who have been here and have, participated in the meet and greets here. You have no idea how much of an impact you make to a lot of us fans that, always dreamt or wished that we could just stand by you and take a picture or to get an autograph from you or just to be in your presence. It means the world to a lot of us. So thank you very much. It's very much appreciated.
Well, right now that David is back,
Taking my Captain Kirk chair back.
let's ask David about China.
Okay.
So China was
miss
here on 2 occasions.
Yes.
The first one, was that with E or was that the second time?
That was the one with E was the second time.
Okay. Now the first time you had her here, how was it?
Oh, it was great. Wasn't as packed as it was the second time, but
Yeah, because that second time, the second time, that was like on a Tuesday or Wednesday?
yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday night. E came out. They were doing the show Botched, and they had asked. I guess they were calling different places. They called, I think, Santino's, or they were looking into Santino Brothers because they had a wrestling ring. And they said, "Oh, that would be pretty cool." But I think then I think they noticed then they called us and they're like, "Hey, what exactly are you guys?" And so when I explained it to them, they're like, "Well, we would like to bring a former WWE superstar to your store." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Where's the show botch? We can't really say names because we don't want to spoil it until everything's confirmed."
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, "Okay." So we're ready. We're waiting, and I guess they must have reached out to her and her manager at the time, and they must have asked them their options. And I guess because she had been here before, she had said she chose this place.
Oh.
And then and then they told us, well, it's gonna be WWE Superstar China, former WWE Superstar China. She's gonna be on the show Botch. I don't know if you've ever seen the show, so they started explaining the concept, which I had seen it, and and then they did the signing here. So what would have happened is, if you've never seen the show Botch, it's about plastic surgery gone wrong, and I think she fixed the implants that she had. I think they were like crooked or something. And so she went to the doctors, they fixed the implants, and then when they come here to film, it's after the surgery, and it's supposed to be like a happy time for her. So it was it's supposed to be like her gaining confidence again in herself and a happy moment of her life, and that's what was filmed. Unfortunately, she passed away before the show aired, so they never really showed the episode. But if you have I think it's Charter or whoever the cable company is in Huntington Park. Charter. They have a special, and I think it's on demand now for any DirecTV, Dish, or whatever. They have a on-demand channel, and Butcher's the one that told me that I think they show a glimpse of the show, because the 2 doctors and the hosts are kind of doing what we're doing, which was reminiscing about episodes. And I guess one of the doctors mentioned China, and so they showed a real quick 10 or maybe not 10, but 20, 30-second clip of her being here at the store. So you kind of get it. I guess they showed like her getting her board and everything, and it was really fun. So yeah, that was one of the funnest signings for me. So we were on TV. We just never had luck when it comes to TV. Then KCal 9 came here once to film, KCal 9 / CBS 2 to film after Roddy Piper passed away.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember that.
And they came here to the store just to talk to us about the impact and about Piper and stuff. And so me and Butcher always say Roddy Piper was here in spirit. So
Well, you also have a nice portrait of Roddy Piper and it's signed.
yeah, so every time you come in, he greets you. So that was China. That's Piper. So I don't know if we've had any. And Chavo Senior, who left us too. It's funny because the funny story with Chavo Senior is Lucha Underground was just starting, and Chavo Junior was a part of that. So I reached out to Chavo Junior, who's by the way, is our first ever autograph signing here at the store. He was our first ever meet and greet, and we reached out to Chavo Jr. and said, hey, how about you and your dad do a signing at the store? He's like, yeah. So gave me his dad's number. I talked to him. We worked everything out. And so it's going to be Chavo Sr., Chavo Jr. Chavo Jr. at that time was filming Lucha Underground. Like I said, it was at the beginning stages. So probably I don't even think they had opened it up to the public yet, or maybe like a week after or something. And so Chavo Jr. is here early, but he had to be back at the temple to film some vignettes and film stuff for Lucha Underground. So Chavo Senior, because I didn't fly him in, he was flown in for a music video they did for him, and so they had him stay in Studio City, which is past Burbank, close to Universal Studios. So I tell my wife, hey, can you pick him up? And my wife is the speed queen. She doesn't mind. So she's like, yeah, I'll have him there. She goes, what time do you need him there by? I go, 6 o'clock. She's like, okay, I'll leave at 3:30. Get over there by 4:30, be back at your store by 5:30. It's like, cool. So she gets over there. She's there about 4:30. And then she's like, okay, so then they're driving back. Mind you, they don't know each other. But, she picks them up. And it's already 6 o'clock. And she's not here. So what happened is, I guess on her GPS, anybody uses GPS, it shows 1 hour, but then as traffic keeps growing, it just keeps going red and red and red and red. Yeah. So it was going to show that he was going to be here about 6:15, 6:30. And Chavo Jr. he's nice and great about it, that he needed to be at the temple. So he's kind of panicking, like, oh my God, what are we going to do? So I said, well, if anything, we'll just have you sign for everybody, and then we'll have them come back and get the Chavo Senior. So anybody that was just here for Chavo, we got him started. So I'm waiting. I'm texting my wife. I'm like, hey, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? And she's like, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. And so all of a sudden, before this banner was right here, you just see through the windows. All of a sudden, I just see these headlights coming in quickly through the parking lot. And I just see this car. I thought it was coming through the window of the store. So I'm like, oh my God, who the hell is that? Sure enough, it was my wife and Chavo Sr. So Chavo Sr. gets out of the car, comes in here, and he reminds me of, what's that show? Sanford and Son. You know how he used to grab his chest and say, like, and Chavo Sr. comes in and he's like, never again. Never again. And I'm like, he's like, that woman right there, she's the speed demon. He goes, I might have to go to the restroom. And of course he was joking around, because if anybody's ever met Chavo Sr., he was just a clown. Like, he just loved joking. He loved people. He's like the greatest storyteller I've ever had, and he's just like happy, and he just wants to make everybody laugh. Mm-hmm. And he was like, that's a speed demon there. He's like, hey Dave, nice to meet you. He's like, never send me with your wife. And him and her were just like, she's like, look, old man, you're lucky I even got you there. And he's like, oh no, I think you took 5 years away from me. He's like, let me check my boxers when I go in the other. He's like, I think I have marks on my boxers. He's like, and at first she's like, listen to me, old man, you better relax. I was like, oh my, no, but that's how they
must have hit it off in that car ride.
So well in that car ride that it broke her heart when he passed away. It just like completely devastated her, because just even in the little time we spent here at the store, 2 hours, we took him to the Lucha Underground temple to see to check it out. Because Chavo left a little earlier, and he had asked me, hey, do you mind taking my dad to the thing? I'm like, no worries. We took him there to check out the temple. He loved that. And then we went to go eat. So we spent about a good 4 or 5 hours together. And those 4 or 5 hours together, it was like him and my wife hit it off. They connected so well that, it broke her heart. Another Chavo Senior story, which I think Butcher never mentioned. We've mentioned a few times. When we first started doing the podcast, I'm like, hey, why don't we interview wrestlers? I said, I wonder if Chavo will do it. So I reach out to Chavo and I'm like, hey, we're doing a podcast. He's like, yeah, bro, whatever you want. It's like, cool. So we call him, and this was like kind of like this setup. We had a laptop, we had the microphone, 3 headphones. We call him, and it was through a website called Blog Talk. And so you would call the whoever you're interviewing, or you could do the podcast through the phone. We call him, he answers, hey, Dave, and we're like, hey, Chavo, thank you for being on the show. And he's telling a story about how he started in wrestling. Somehow, one way or another, the call disconnects while the podcast is going. Well, we got disconnected from the show. We're like, oh man! I go, crap. Poor Chavo's gonna be like, what the hell happened? The show kept going, so we were disconnected. I kid you not, for like 10 minutes. We connect again. He was still on the same story. He never realized we got disconnected. So that was Chavo Senior. It was one of my favorite signings as well. We got a few minutes, like 3 minutes left, but we've had Lita, we've had Tito Santana, Rosa Mendes, RVD, Sonya Deville before she was Sonya Deville, Drew McIntyre, which you mentioned, Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes, which now run AEW, Summer Rae, Tenille, which used to be Emma, now she's in Ring of Honor, Rey Mysterio, which no one ever would have thought he'd be up there, X-Pac, he's been here twice. Billy Gunn, Chyna, who was here twice, Kelly, Katarina Lee Waters, Melina Perez, who has the record, I think, for being here the most. I think she's been here a total of 6 times. So thank you, Melina. Davey Boy Smith Jr., Christy Hemme, Gail Kim, Jillian Hall, who actually sang for us, Victoria, who's also been here, I think, 4 or 5 times. Thank you, Victoria. Chris Masters, who was our first ever guest at the Santa Fe Springs Swap Meet, who was our first ever meet and greet at the Santa Fe Springs Swap Meet. And he's been here twice. PJ Black, who I love to death. Bad News Barrett. Darren Young. Cobra Moon, also known as Thunder Rosa. Pentagon. Prince Puma, who's now
Ricochet
on NXT. For those that didn't know, he was Ricochet first, then Prince Puma. Also Ricochet, but now just known as Ricochet on NXT. Our first ever group that goes on the Ceiling of Fame, which was the Worldwide Underground, PJ Black, Taya, Johnny Mundo, and Jack Evans. Mil Muertes, Katrina. Yeah.
Wow.
Phoenix, Sexy Star, Drago. Real quick, we got like 2 minutes. I'm going to say a quick story about Drago. It was 100 degrees in here on a summer day.
I remember that.
And he came in his latex outfit.
Oh, man.
And and that was the VIP photo op. He wore it the whole time.
Yeah.
He made sure that any VIP had that. And I was like, you don't have to do it. He's like, no. So a VIP's came late. He put this outfit back on and did the photo ops for them in 100 degrees.
Wow.
Johnny Mundo, John Morrison, Johnny Mundo, John Morrison,
Johnny
Nitro,
Impact.
Johnny Impact, Johnny Blackcraft, Chavo Guerrero Jr., which I said he was the first one here at the store, Chavo Sr., Big Rick, Ezekiel Jackson, Marty Jannetty, which Butcher almost threw through the barbershop window. Ron Simmons, damn, he warned me about WWE suing me. Marty the Moth, Son of Havoc, Matt Cross, Ivelisse, who's now suing Lucha Underground. Sabu Davari, who's now a producer in the back for WWE. And his brother's also there. Melissa Santos, who's my paisana from Nicaragua. Paul London, who's Lucha Underground. And of course, Jack Swagger. Another cool story about Jack Swagger was like 100 degrees in here that day. The AC completely broke down. And I remember he was signing autographs, and it was so hot in here, he was sweating on top of the 8x10s that he was signing. But he didn't complain. He didn't care. And he signed. And then today, of course, we added
Kevin
Big
Nash.
Sexy Kevin Nash, the NWO founder. And then we also had Mil Máscaras here. And we've had Crime Time here. So it's a pretty good list, I think.
Yeah.
We had Hector Canales here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I was here too. I was here. I think I hold the record for many times here.
And for getting me fat. Well, I want to thank like Lord Alfred Shake said, I want to thank every wrestler that has stepped foot in this store. Blue Demon was here also. He just walked in one day. They brought him in to check out the store, which was really cool. He didn't do a meet and greet. He just came in. Sometimes PJ Black will just be here checking it out. Sometimes John Morrison will be here checking it out. One time Melina was just sitting there waiting for my wife. So we were going to go do something, and she was just hanging out here. And so sometimes you never know who could be here when you walk in. So I want to thank every single wrestler who's been here. I want to thank Butcher for all his work. Anthony, Butcher's family. I want to thank the Mesa family for not the tables, the Mesa family for being here. I want to thank Lord Alfred Shakes and his son for all his support. I want to thank what do we call the big Filipino Matt for always
the big Pinoy.
The big Pinoy. All the customers that have stepped foot in this store, every single one. Who else? This is like doing the Grammys here. Yeah. Thunder Rosa, Mariachi Loco for doing all the commercials for the store, of course. He did a couple commercials. Who else?
Definitely
of course, my
Colts.
family. Yes, I was going to save you a special one.
Oh, or you're gonna offer me money?
Pretty much. I want to thank, of course, let's see, who else has stepped foot in here? Pretty much everybody, our neighbors, Corona Photos. If you haven't checked them out, make sure you check them out. They do all our photo ops for the store. Hector, for always, of course, Hector Canales, for always promoting the store on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, doing commercials for us, doing audio for us, doing the dancing commercial of the NWO.
Hey, you look cute in it.
That's probably why.
That's probably why
it all happened. Thanks, Shakes.
That's what you get for trying to imitate me. No one can do Shakes better than I can.
I want every wrestler, every customer. I know I'm forgetting somebody. Roy, Tony Vella, who's made a lot of these autograph appearances possible. Mm-hmm. Like I said, every customer that's been here. And especially want to thank my wife, because like I said, sometimes your wife and you clash, but sometimes what wife is crazy enough to let her husband say, "Go ahead, open a wrestling store, see what happens." She did, she was like, it was like, she wasn't sarcastic. She was like, "That's what you want, go for it." So it happened, and of course my kids, because I take away at least almost all their time to be here. So and I want to thank my family, and especially the new princess to the family, because she gives up her dad for a couple hours every day. So I want to thank everybody. Let's give our advertisements. So we'll start out with you, Shakes.
You can follow me on Twitter at Lord Alfred Shakes, and for any cheats or walkthroughs, you can follow my son Dark Grappleby26 on YouTube.
And Hector Canales, or follow me on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. But subscribe to my YouTube channel where we unbox wrestling toys, vintage toys, and actually David makes many appearances as we do shoot commentary on old wrestling matches that I had, and he also helps me unbox some vintage figures, and I buy figures here and unbox them on YouTube. Real Hector Canales.
And of course, you can follow the Wrestling Guys Store at thewrestlingguysstore.com, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the Wrestling Guys Store. And of course, real quick before we head out, we want to say our next announcement.
You do have one more place to be followed. Home Depot.
Is that why you put this microphone right here?
Yes.
No, I figured. I didn't get paid, by the way. Real quick, for those just watching, our next signing will be the last Sunday of March, which I believe is March 30th. Don't quote me on it because I'm not looking at the calendar. March 30th or 31st. The last Sunday of March, we will have of course, one more Guerrero to add to the Ceiling of Fame. We'll have Vicky Guerrero
Excuse me?
here Sunday. Yes. I'm sorry to break it to you.
There's only one big mouthpiece here, and that's me.
We'll see who says the excuse me correctly.
Okay.
And that'll be Sunday, the last Sunday of March. Stay tuned. We'll add the pricing and all that on tomorrow night. And she'll be here from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We'll be open late on Sunday night, March, I believe it's the 30th or 31st. So
Mark your calendars.
Mark your calendars. The last
Vicky
Sunday of March.
Guerrero.
Vicky Guerrero. And stay tuned because I know the artist is going to go crazy on that board. So for her Ceiling of Fame tile. So for all of us here at the Wrestling Guy, thank you for 6 years at the Wrestling Guy store. Come by and check us out if you haven't. 6085 State Street, City of Huntington Park, California, 90255. For all of us here, hasta luego, mi amigo. You just need to end the Facebook and the YouTube, and we're gone. Thank you, Facebook. It's not touchscreen. That was a Hector. That was a Hector botch. There we go.